Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new TJ's The World According to Wrestling. And I have to say, I apologize for not coming out the video sooner. But I was kind of busy. We had like a late Father's Day, and I had some school stuff going on. Excuse me. But anyways, let's get back to what you want to hear. What are my thoughts about wrestling? And I'll start with, of course, Impact. And there's a couple good matches, especially that tag match with Violent by Design. I think that's a good group. I like that group. The music, is kind of, it's a little weird, but I think they could really do something. Jake something, Rhino, Eric Young. I think that's a pretty great group. And I apologize, I forgot the other name. But anyways, and they're steadily teasing the Jordynne Grace heel turn, which I actually thought it would have happened on that show. Actually, I thought that she would, like give her the clothesline, and that was going to be it. But that's apparently what I know. I think Jason Alexander is doing a great job with the X Division title. I really liked his tag team with Ethan Page. I thought that was pretty great with being the North. And I think Alexander's actually doing fine just carrying it off with him being X Division champion. And so I really think Impact has really been coming along decently since I started watching it again. Don Callis got fired, which is going to free him up to be on AEW more and more. But of course, he's going to come back to Impact because he's managing the Impact World Champion, Kenny Omega. But we're going to see how that storyline goes. I just wonder who he's eventually going to drop the belt to, because I believe that that's the first belt that he's going to lose, is the Impact World title. And so now, we go on to SmackDown. Oh boy. Carmella being in Money in the Bank. Let's say she's a 2-time winner, even though she only won it once. That goddamn James Ellsworth won the first one. And they're continuing this feud with her and Liv Morgan. Both of them can't wrestle at all. It's just terrible, and they're furthering the storyline, and they call Carmella the most beautiful woman in WWE, which is completely ridiculous. You have Rhea Ripley and Asuka there. Those two are beautiful women. And, Ziggler lost. What's new about that? Even though I believe that he should be in constant title contention for world champion because he is such a fantastic worker. Roman Reigns, doing this whole, family feud thing, which is, I gotta say, it's really getting old now. It was fine when it first started, but he's always so conflicted and torn about which two of the brothers that he wants. It's like, dude, just shit or get off the pot. Seriously, man. You've been doing this forever. What are you going to do? You're either going to beat the crap out of him or have him join the family. Make it one way or the other. That way we can finally get some fucking closure. Another thing is that there's a really big rumor that Big E is going to win the Money in the Bank and become world champion. I don't know. There's also a clamor for Sami Zayn, and I think Sami Zayn might actually win it. What? No. With going on, what I want to talk about later with Drew McIntyre, I think he's actually going to win Money in the Bank. But I would personally like to see Sami Zayn win it. Because I think it would be time for him to be world champion. He's such an annoying little bastard, even though he dresses like Fidel Castro. I I really don't see why anybody would want to dress as Fidel Castro, but that's just me. And so, we go on. That concludes SmackDown. It was an alright show. Nothing really excited or impressed me. And so now we go on to AEW, which, and its weird time slot, even though it's returning to Wednesday this week, was AEW Dynamite. And they had a great match starting out with Adam Page and Powerhouse Hobbs. And that was absolutely just fantastic. And I don't understand why they're already trying to break apart Team Taz and have Brian Cage turn face. I mean, it's not... Oh, I apologize. I mean, it's not going to mean anything. Because he didn't have any heat as a heel. You build a heel up with heat, and then eventually turn a babyface, and that's what turns into a mega babyface. And he hasn't done crap. They said they were expecting big things with the FTW belt, and nothing's came of it. Nothing has absolutely come of him being the FTW champion. He hasn't demanded a title shot. He hasn't really beaten up anybody to make himself get known or noticed. Then Taz is honest to God, he's the leader of a team that can't even shoot straight. They lose everything that they're in. And now they're going to break them apart. Where's the sense in that? That is absolutely ridiculous. If you wanted to, you could have Brian Cage be world champion and have Starks and Hobbs. They'd be tag champions and they could dominate this thing, but they're all heel factions. They'd have to take it off the dumb fucks, as I call them. I've been calling them that for years. And they're not going to let that happen. That's, absolutely ridiculous. I would love to see the match between FTR and Santana and Ortiz. That would be an absolutely great match. The tag teams and both of the stables, so both of the major two factions in AEW. I think that would be a beautiful match. And MJF is, constantly cutting promos, and he cuts a great promo. It's just they take the heat off of him immediately by having him doing stupid shit, like having his face flushed down the toilet. Or having a thank you card stapled to his forehead. You're not going to keep any heat by doing stupid shit like that. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that doesn't make any sense. Another cool thing was the Kenny Omega versus Jungle Boy world title match. The thing is, you could have made Jungle Boy a star. You could have done it by now. You should have done it by now. It's been 2 years since he debuted. You could have started off with having him being beaten, but as he got constantly beaten, he kept on getting better. He kept on getting closer to winning. Then eventually he would pick up a big upset victory, and then he'll go on win after win after win, and then he could challenge for the world title. He wouldn't necessarily have to win it, but he could actually challenge it, especially like when they went the 15 minutes with Jericho. He could have used that as like, hey, I lasted. One of the greatest of all time. And then he could have said, I've proven myself, and then actually, started beating people because he, like he quote unquote learned so much. I think that would have been the way to push Jungle Boy from the beginning. I mean, that has to be it. But going 2 years and not really having a foundation other than a tag team that loses all the time. I think the ship might have sailed on that. I mean, an excuse is that they're young, have time later on. But why not do it now? Why not have a huge star in your hand right now instead of 1-2 years down the road? Why not get those extra 2 years of mega star power out of them? But that's just my thoughts. And here we go. And now we go on to Monday Night Raw. And it actually started out nice with the Battle Royal after, refreshing match to have, because we used to have them all the time and they've gone away. And we had one, out of nowhere. And it was nice to see it. And, they had an excuse of why Randy wasn't there and wrote a note, which is basically like a parent giving their son a letter to, the principal or whatever, why they missed school. And Riddle got into the match, thinking he's Randy Orton, doing the RKO. And even though that he won the Battle Royal, this guy, is doing his, his Orton pose and the pyro and all that crap. Which, it's kind of weird from a dude, a former MMA fighter. Even though he legitimately got fired because he wouldn't stay off of it. But, whatever. MVP was there. Lashley wasn't there, for an undisclosed reason. But he was steadily jaw-jacking with Kofi Kingston. And oh boy, I hope they don't make Kofi world champion again. That was so bad. People were desperately wanting it and they finally got it. But guess what? When he got the belt, his reign totally sucked. It was absolutely terrible. He worked with Kevin Owens, worked with Ziggler, he worked with Orton, and guess what? They were the ones that were great in the match. Kingston sucked. He couldn't carry the world title, which is why I didn't want him to win it in the first place. And yeah, you could hate me if you want, but hey, that's just the facts. Let me know in the comments. But, and another thing was that, hey, it was nice to see the Viking Raiders in that match too, by the way. But, Eva Marie showed up again with Doudrop, even though that's not her name, going up against Asuka. And God, Asuka got beat again. Didn't she used to have an undefeated streak? Wasn't she actually, hard to beat? And now, since she lost the world champion, she gets beat every time. I'm trying to figure out how that works. How do you go from being the world champion to getting beat every time? You go from world champion to being a jobber. That of course doesn't make any sense to me. And, Eva Marie says that she won the match, even though she actually, didn't wrestle. Which is alright in storyline, she's getting heat, but how far do you think the storyline's going to be able to go? That's the part you're going to have a problem with. But, then we go to our main event. Which, you knew McIntyre was going to win. Because he has to, fight for the rematch against Lashley, because they're going to have rematches from here to the end of time until McIntyre gets the belt back. But, he went up against AJ and Riddle. They won the Battle Royal for the shot at, the triple threat match later on tonight. This was the main event. And I actually thought it was a good match. Just oh man. They just completely whooped the dog shit out of Styles. It was absolutely brutal to see. And Omos had to, pull him out so that way he wouldn't get beat. And he's carrying around his dead, lifeless body. Even though then it was bad too, because Styles hit a beautiful Pele kick on Riddle. And oh man, I thought that was it. That was just fantastic. But Riddle tries to go for the cover on Styles. he gets pulled out, and McIntyre hits the Claymore on Riddle, and that's 1, 2, 3. And of course, McIntyre's in the Money in the Bank match, in which I truly believe he's going to be the Money in the Bank winner. I think he's going to try to cash it in on Lashley. It's just the only thing is whether or not he's going to win or lose. We'll see that in due time. And everyone, that's been, TJ's World According to Wrestling. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of me, what you think of, all these different wrestling shows. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.